This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys. So today we are going to talk about VPN configuration. How do we actually connect to the inside private network, Azure Cloud private network directly without having the public IPs? This is a bit lengthy configuration, but not tough. You can easily follow for sure. So for that reason, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a virtual network. First, we need to create a virtual network. We know how do we create the networks by now, right? Create virtual network. Okay, so I'll just call it as VPN, VPN VNet something. You can give it any name basically. Address name, like what I'll address I'll use 10 dot 3 dot 0 dot 0 slash 16. This is a network address. I'm defining it, and we have the resource group. I'm just selecting it. I'm going to use any location, West India, and I'm going to keep it VPN subnet or else just subnet 1, whatever it is. Subnet 1. The address range must follow this network address. So I'm going to make 10.3.2.0 something like that, or else 1.0 second subnet in that network. So I'll go with 24. This is a valid network in that network address. This is valid subnet. Create it. So let that get created. I'll discuss what I'm going to achieve. First, let's create the services. They will take a lot of time here. Once I submit the services for creation, I'll come back to the discussion, what we are going to achieve exactly. Fine. Next, what I'll do, go inside the VNet. So we have the document, guys. So we are creating the, create a virtual network, VPN VNet we created, and I am choosing the 10.3.0. This is the network, and the subnet was 10.3.1.0. This is the subnet. Next, the parallelly I'll edit the document also. If you follow the document, you can do it on your own. So created the VNet, right? Within the VNet, there is one subnet. We are going to add one gateway subnet. Every VNet, you can create only one gateway subnet, but total you can create 254 subnets in a single network. But gateway subnet is only one. You can only create one, not multiple. If you create subnet, you keep creating the subnets as you move on, but gateway subnet is only one subnet for each VNet. You cannot create multiple gateway subnets, only one gateway subnet. So I'm creating it. So it is not even giving you the chance to give a name. It is automatically picked up the gateway subnet and it is grayed out. Why? Because you can only create one only. So there is no meaning of giving name. That's why Microsoft is actually did not give the option for you to name it. This gateway subnet is only one and only is that gateway subnet name itself. So I'm picking this subnet 10.3.2.0. I even pick this 0.0 also. It is valid and it is available, but I'm going with 2.0. That's fine. Create it. It's mandatory to create it. Without this, like we cannot actually create the Azure Virtual Network Gateway. This is the one. See, Virtual Network Gateway. This is what we have to build it. So how it is going to work, all that we are going to see. Come on, it's not moving. Okay. So I'm going to create virtual network gateway. This is going to take 40 to 45 minutes just to create the service itself. It's a lengthy process. When that is getting created, we will talk about the rest of the things. Okay. Virtual network gateway. Create virtual network gateway. Click over that. It is another cloud service basically. Okay. So here pay as you go resource group, whatever the virtual network you select, there it will get created automatically. So we created a virtual network, right? So let me give a name for this. I'll just call it as VPN gateway. Okay, I'm just giving a name like that, VPN gateway. And where it is actually, I created the network in the West India. Okay, the network virtual VNet I created in the West India. That's why you have to create this gateway also in the West India. And the VPN concept, what I'm going to configure, VPN based and the root based VPN. It is not express route or policy based. I did not configure this. This is the one I have configured. So gateway type is VPN and the VPN type is root based. And here, I guess I have discussed SKU, right? When I was talking about the load balancer, virtual machine will have a two SKUs. One is a basic SKU, one is a standard SKU. The same way, VPN gateway also has its own SKU, which is a networking SKU, means a networking model. So basically, if you go with the basic, it is a lab. When you do the lab, you go with the basic SKU for building the VPN network. Basic SKU network is not reliable. If it is down, means down. You raise a case with Microsoft, they will take their own time to make the tunnel up. Okay, so this is a premium networks actually. VPN gateway 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you go to 5, you never see any network downtime. They will have a redundant networks. If one network goes down, other network will come up automatically. And you never see the tunnel is going down. Okay, these are highly reliable, high bandwidth capacity networks. These are all. I'm going with the next to lowest one. This is also production VPN, but this will have a low bandwidth. Reliability is there, link will be up all the time, but the amount of data you transfer over the VPN will be less. Why? Because the network you're choosing have a less bandwidth here. As you move on, like VPN gateway 2, VPN gateway 3, 4, 5, the bandwidth will increase. Okay, the bandwidth will increase. Basically the reliability of the connection also will increase basically. So this is enough for us. Basically we are not going with the basic, we are going with the VPN gateway networking. It is a SKU, means networking. I see root based VPN gateway types are offered in the SKU, basic, standard and high performance. Standard high performance must be chosen if the gateway is being created. Basically this is something defines your network speed over the VPN. If I go with the basic, then there could be connection losses, there could be network itself is down. Even if you raise a case with the Microsoft, they will definitely take time. Why? Because you're paying quite less and you'll get the service on their own time, availability of the technician. When you go for these one, the response will be high. So that's what it is about. Okay. There is a generation of networks. Generation 1 is going on. Maybe they introduce more and more basically. Virtual network, we created VPN VNet. Okay, when we are creating VNet, see automatically it picked up the 10.3.2.0. Why it picked up this? Tell me. Anybody understood why it is picked up that subnet automatically? 10.3.2.0. For what we have defined that subnet? This subnet we defined for the gateway subnet, right? That's why it is picked up that gateway subnet from that network. There was one network, one subnet was 10.3.1.0, which is a normal subnet. I created a gateway subnet. The gateway subnet IP was 10.3.2.0, which is automatically picked up. The resource group, see Ravi RG, derived from the network resource group. This, you did not get a chance to choose this resource group. It is coming from the network because you need to bind the network to connect to the Azure infrastructure. This is the network you will enter from this virtual network gateway. Okay, so before I do this, let me give you a brief introduction, guys. Maybe that can help you to understand, if else you'll be blank. So you have Azure network. This is something called cloud, assume a case. This is a cloud. Okay, this is cloud. You wanted to enter into the cloud, so you are not authorized by default. You created a VNet. You created a VNet called VPN VNet, right? You created a VPN VNet. Let's make it clear. VPN VNet. Okay, within the VNet you created two subnets, one for the normal subnet, one for the VPN gateway. And this is a VPN gateway service is also in the Azure Cloud. Okay. So now you have your my laptop is here now. Now I wanted to enter into gateway so that it will give me the access to directly to this VPN local network. I wanted to enter this service basically. When I'm entering, there is a gateway subnet on the VPN VNet. In the virtual network, we introduce gateway subnet, right? The gateway subnet will be binded with this virtual network gateway. It will be binded with this one. So whenever you enter into this network, you enter into one subnet, you enter into all subnets. It's like that basically. You are able to enter into this whole network through the virtual network gateway. This is a network gateway. Both the services are in cloud, and this is something VPN tunnel will build. We are going to configure the VPN software, and this is a client basically. Someone client means you might be working from home, you need to go with a VPN, then only you can enter into your company network. So VPN is the one which will make you authorize with the domain first, then you can enter into your, once you are authenticated with the VPN, you are authorized to enter into any of the server. Through that, your laptop will become the local machine basically. You will get an IP from that network. We are going to see that, no need to worry. So now what I'm going to do, I'm binding this network gateway subnet into this gateway. That's what it is happening here. See here, when I'm selecting that VNet, it is automatically picked up gateway subnet. Okay, this actually this service required a public IP. This required a public IP on which your connection will initiate. It will go and hit one of the public IP here. Okay, there should be public interface on which you will hit it. So that is what it is asking again. Public IP address name. So I'm going to call it as LB IP, not gateway IP. Okay, gateway IP. You can give any name, doesn't matter. Public IP address queue is a basic, that's fine. And the rest are all keep it okay. So tagging we know, right? Production, pre-prod, dev, all that you can tag basically. So any questions here? Clear, right? You are selecting a subscription, your resource group, giving the name for the VPN, selecting the region. You have to select the region of this traffic manager where you created the virtual network. So I selected West India, and it is available in West India. That's why it is. If I select some other location, maybe South India, the network will not pop up. I mean this one, the virtual network will not come. Why? Because we did not create the virtual network in the West India, South India. We created in West India. When I choose there, then only the VPN is the network will be available like that. And we are asking it to create a new public IP for this. Enable active mode and configure BGP. These are the protocols. We don't want that. Just this one is going to take quite long. It won't get created immediately. It takes roughly 40 to 45 minutes. Definitely takes 40 to 45 minutes. So let's discuss other things. If I come back to the document, create a gateway subnet within the virtual network. The gateway subnet is actually 10.3.2.0. Create a virtual network gateway, right? We just created. Associate a virtual network. See, virtual network VPN VNet. Associate virtual network VPN VNet inside the virtual uh, while creating the virtual network gateway. We have associated, right? So I'm just saving this. So this step will take up to 45 minutes to create. Okay. Oh, what is going to save? Okay. So this creation of that Azure Virtual Network Gateway will take definitely 40 to 45 minutes. That is what I mentioned. Create a VM within the virtual network VPN VNet. So I'm going to create a VM inside that network. Okay, let's build it in a VM. Go to the virtual machine, create virtual machine. People join, right? Okay. So here you select the resource group. Come on. Right. So here I'm giving the virtual machine name as VM01. You can give any name, doesn't matter. Here I need to choose a West India only because I created the VNET in the West India. It's mandatory. 2016 data center is the operating system I wanted to choose. Okay. Azure Spot instance. What is this? It's a new one. Azure Spot offers you unused Azure capacity at a discounted rate versus pay-as-you-go prices. Should be tolerant to infrastructure loss as Azure may recall the capacity for pay-as-you-go workloads. Spot offers unused Azure capacity. Okay. If you are not using what is given for you at free of cost, that will use that resources it is saying. Okay, capacity only. Evict the virtual machine when Azure needs the capacity per pay-as-you-go workload. Your max price is set to the pay-as-you-go rate. Okay. Price archive. Okay, actually you can select some price. I mean some amount per month, and if it is exceeding automatically, it is going to do the job. I mean it is going to clean up for you. Okay, that is not we don't want. It is a new thing actually. It was not there few days ago. Not even last two class also it was not there. Good enough. So I'm going with two CPUs, 4 GB RAM. That's fine. I'm allowing the port to connect. That's fine. Standard. Networking is important. VPN VNet and subnet 1, it is going under 1.0, and here I don't need the public IP. Without a public IP, we have to connect. That's what the VPN concept, right? So I don't want to give any public IP for this machine. None. Rest of the things as it is. You don't need to touch that. Okay. These are going to take time. Let's come to the document again. So create a virtual network gateway. We done. Create the VM within the virtual network VPN VNet. Create the certificates now. These are the main important topic you need to know. Creating the certificates. So far what we did is simple. The creating certificate is little you need to focus when you are discussing. Just like just follow it. So here we need to create the certificates, one private certificate, one public certificate. We will export that public certificate in the Azure Cloud. Using that certificate, the VPN will connect automatically. So it will go through the certificate model, the connectivity. The VPN also will be built that way only. So I'm going to show that in detail. Just follow it. So if you wanted to do this, you have to install this SDK, Software Development Kit. You have to install that. So if you wanted to install, you need to have Windows 10 for this, guys. Windows 7 doesn't work for this. Windows 10 is required for this lab. If you don't have it, it will be a problem. Windows 8.1 also okay, but 7 doesn't work. You have to download this SDK, Windows 10 Software Development Kit SDK means, okay? So there is a download. See, I have included the link also here in the document. I'm going to send this document today. So click over that, it will download the setup. It is a pretty small setup basically. This is where it is, so it is already downloaded. Okay, fine. So once you download, it will ask you to install. So it takes roughly 20 to 30 minutes. to install over the internet based on its speeds. Here it is going to download roughly 2 GB plus data. SDK means it's not just small thing. It will install a lot of things on your machine. It is going to occupy 3 GB storage in your laptop if you are going to install this. So hit next. There are lots of services, you know, send anonymous data. So Microsoft, no, I don't want to send. Hit OK. Next, so accept the terms and conditions. Right. See, these many things are going to install in your machine. You have to install all of these to create the certificate. So I'm not going to install it. It's already been installed recently and into my machine. I have everything in my machine. So where it is actually installing it, see it is installed in this directory. See users running the downloads here. See, look at this one. See program files, Windows kits 10, program files cross 86. That's where it got installed. Okay. So go back to the C, program files 86, Windows kits. Where it is? Here it is. Under this folder it got installed. So these are all related to the certificate Windows 10 only. Okay, go to the bin directory. This is where you have the like binaries to create the certificate. There is one application called MakeCert. This is the one which will be used for the certification creation. Basically, to get these binaries you have to install this thing, you have to install that, then only you'll get that. So here I'm not going to install. This is going to take quite long, at least 20 to 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. So you have to install this. Just download it, hit next, 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 and finish. Nothing else you have to do. But that is going to take some, at least it is going to take 15 to 20 minutes. Be patient. Okay, when you're doing first time, you have to download and install. Once that is installed, you have to, once that is done, go to and run the certificates. You have to build the certificate basically. Okay, so how do we build? When I'm building the certificate, I'm going to explain, no need to worry. All these whole command I'm going to explain what it is going to do, but I'll run first and I'll explain later on, no need to worry. This is somehow going to take quite long, this gateway creation. If you look at the gateway, VM deployment is also going on. This is something is going to take quite long. For that is no issue, no need to worry. Where is the virtual machine? Here is. It is gone actually. When you refresh, it will not show what is going on. It will clean up. If I go to the virtual machine, right, it is creating. If I go back to the virtual network gateway also, it will definitely take quite long. VPN, if you wanted to see, it will be in the provisioning status. Yeah, there is no status for this updating. It's taking updating. Okay, this will be gone if it is done. There is no status for this basically, which is very bad basically. Fine, this should go. Updating should go, then only it is fully created. Else we need to wait for that go, the update status. See, it is updating. That's fine. So now I have to create certificates, public certificate and private certificate. So how do I create the certificate? So go to the user certificate, user, see manage user certificate, click over that. So this is how it looks like, certificate center. If you come to here, personal, I don't have any certificate right now. I don't have any, it's an empty thing, right? The same thing can be done from the command prompt also. You can open it. Open the command prompt as an administrator, run as an administrator. Now you can run the small command called set mgr.msc. This is going to open the same thing. See here? You can write either set mgr.msc, which will open the same thing, or else you go to the search and then manage user certificate. Clicking over here also will open the same thing. There is no difference. Okay, right. So now I wanted to create this public certificate. This is a public certificate basically. So if I wanted to create, first I need to move to the binary where the binary is. Binaries are here. This is where the binary is actually I wanted to call is make set. Just now I told you, right? This is the one we are going to call to build the certificate. So I'm moving to the directory where the binaries exist, call directory. Okay, go inside in it. Now, once I go into it, then I have this command. Make set is available. If I run this command, it is going to build a certificate, 1048-bit encrypted certificate. See, it is a SHA-1 is a like it is like algorithm which will generate the random 2048-bit encrypted key. So I'll take it this, I'll run that command. So it is succeeded. It is succeeded means it is created a certificate. If you go to here, certificate, so it is created a certificate called Azure VPN root cert. Why it is created with that name? Because there is a name for that, Azure VPN root cert. We have this. That's why it is created with that name. So what are these things? Sky Exchange, IFINOR? I'm going to explain that later on. Let's keep that, for a while. I'm going to explain whole command, what it is exactly doing in the background, but try to understand this. It is created a certificate. Okay. So I'll just pick up F drive, then certificate. So you have this. I'm just going to delete this. I don't want this. Okay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to export this certificate. We can export actually. So we made it exportable. In the command, there is something called P. This is P tag says that exportable certificate. If you don't use this one, I cannot export the certificate. So you should export. Then only you can submit this certificate to the Azure Cloud. Go to the certificate, click on this, all task, export the certificate. Hit next. Do you want it to include the private key? There is no private, it is a public key. No, I don't export the private key. Okay. Hit next. It must be base 64 encoded key. This is the one we use it. Base 64 encoded key. Hit next. So where I wanted to generate the certificate? Yes, in this folder. So I'll keep it as public key. Public key certificate. So the extension of this one is .cer, which is a certificate. And next, finish. It is going to be exported into that directory. See here, public key. This is exported. If I go and look at the certificate, see it is generated 2048-bit encrypted key. No one can hack this key. So your VPN connection is so secured. Why? Because it is exchanging 2048-bit encrypted key. The data is traveling through the tunnel. Okay, all data is encrypted with this key. So if someone has to tap your data or hack your data, they have to track this key or crack this key. It's absolutely random. No one can guess it with any software. It's a randomized key. So that's where VPN connections are so secure. It travels through the certificate. If the client machine which is doing the connection to the through the VPN, the server side also it has to be matched. Then only it will give the connection when you do the VPN. Okay, it is a randomized key. Okay, we exported public key. Let's build the private key. See here, run the cert mgr.msc to convert. See, we created this and you run this command, it will open the certificate center or certificate user certificate manage center where you come here and export it. That's what I have written here. Find the certificate in the personal certificate. See, find certificate, personal certificate, under that export it. I've written the whole steps and to base 64 without password. Okay. Open in the base64 in text editor and put it in one line. I'm going to explain this. Not now. I'll explain this. When we are exporting a key, we'll make it in one single line. So now I'm going to create a private key. This is a private key. I'm going to create this. Just go to the command prompt and run this. So again, I'm calling the make set. The make set is an application we have in this directory. Which directory? This directory, where we program files, Windows, kits, 10, bin. In this folder, you have this make set. If I run this, it will going to create another certificate. See, it is created another certificate. If I come back here, if I refresh, there is one more certificate, client Azure VPN client certificate. Okay, this is the second certificate. So I'll go to here. I'll export this certificate also. This must be exported with a password. When you are installing or connecting to the VPN, it will ask a password for connecting it. So that password we have to give it. For installation also it will ask the password. Everyone should not do it actually. We actually export with the password. Go to here, export, hit next. Export the private key, first option, hit next. And personal information exchange, and include all certificates in the certification path if possible. Enable the certification privacy. Yes, both keep it as it is. Hit next. It is asking the password. So I'm going to keep some password. You're going to, so I'm going to give Ravi @1234. This must be protected with the password. If someone steals your certificates, they can hack your VPN, they can enter into your network. So even they are getting the certificate, they should know the password to install the certificate. So that's why I'm protecting with the certificates. Hit next. So I'll give it as private key, private keys kind of, whatever it is. Hit next, finish. So now if I come to here, there is a public key and private key. Okay, we are done now. We have to wait for this one to stand up. It is going to take, I guess I started it, even we can see it here, no need to worry. More events in the activity log. Click over there. This will show what are the services we created, what are the services we deleted, everything it will show. So delete, vault, validate, deployment, create. 4 minutes ago this. And when did we this thing roughly? Validate, deployment, create a virtual. Yeah, this is the one. If you look at this, it is not showing the, okay, still update, okay, it's not fully done yet, it seems. Let's see if it is did the job. It will not going to show that update option. If I go to here, still updating, we have to wait this to be finished. It will go off, it will not be there if it is created. It's still updating. So if you look at this, it's not giving any description for this. It should give description about that, but okay, Microsoft did not make any description for this. So far understood, guys? Yes or no? So we run sut.mgr and we exported the private key certificate with the password. Till this point we are done. Okay, get up the gateway point, point to site setting, and this is what we are pending at. So we till this point we are done. So when this is going on, let me explain this parameters. That will take some time, definitely. That is the expected thing. So if I open this, so we have used parameter. Each parameter has meaning in the background. So let's talk about that. So see here, if you go to here, make set sky exchange. What is sky? What is sky exactly means? So you come to here, you can find Sky means subject key specification, signature, self-signed certificate it is. So your signature exchangeable certificate, which is you signed on your own. Subject key specification, subject key spec must be one of the three possible values. Signature key specification, at exchange key specification, an integer such as 3 for more info. This is something self-signed certificate, I would say. We created ourselves. And hyphen R means, let's see what is hyphen R. So create a self-signed, right? This is what it is. Create a self-signed certificate, and this is saying that signature, self-signed signature certificate, I guess. And hyphen N means name of the certificate. Hyphen N, where it is. There should be right name of certificate. See, hyphen N means name. The name we have given this. And PE means exportable certificate. See here, marks the private key as exportable. We exported because we added this tag. If we wouldn't have added this tag, then this couldn't have exported. We couldn't have exported. We shouldn't have. Means it will not allow us to export. Okay. And what is hyphen A is algorithm. Algorithm is SHA-1. That is one of the famous algorithm. Hyphen A, see algorithm. See a SHA-1, MD5. These are famous algorithm methods. And the length of the certificate, LEN means length. What length we are using? LEN, come on, where it is? That should be LEN, definitely. If it is not there, okay, it is not mentioned. Why not? Okay, whatever it is, that is the length somehow. This is the length of the certificate. SS, see at the end, SS, what is SS? Right here it is. Name of the subject key, subject certificate store where generated. Certificate will be, it's a kind of naming, you are tagging with that name, kind of. Not much important. So you can go through the other one also. I'm including this. I'm going to send this document. We have created another certificate, this one. Name of the certificate, P exportable, Sky Exchange, hyphen M, how many months it has to, valid. After 96 months, this will get expire, the certificate. M means months. Okay. So SS hyphen SS. So this is a name what we have given. And E is my, again, this is algorithm SHA. Something, everything is there, guys. Just you go through and check out the tag parameter. It'll tell you what is the purpose that has been created. Let's see where this VPN is actually still doing the same job. It's finished. Oh, it's still doing the job. We had to wait, guys. It might complete in 5 to, it takes maybe still for the 5 more minutes. We have to wait here. Any questions when this is going on this one? Anyone want to ask anything in this? Anywhere, any doubt, just let me know. We'll talk about it because it's creating, we have to wait for that to create. It's expected thing basically. Even you can see this dotted lines are coming and going. That is means it is still processing that request. See here at the top, the dotted lines are going and coming. If this is done, that won't come. The dots will not come. That also indicates that operation is in progress.
Yes, Ravinder. For this process, how many certificates we need to?
Two certificates. One for the one is public, one is private. I have given two commands. If you
Okay.
look at one certificate is here. Create the client certificate is here, and here it is run the command to create the certificate. This is the first one is a public certificate.
Okay.
Public key certificate, public key certificate. Okay, and the next one is a private key certificate, client
It's a
certificate, which is
public.
also called.
Yeah. Okay. Public and private certificates we need to do in this process. That's enough.
Right, right.
Thank you.
Why it is asking this way? Why it is read only? It is saying. What? Where are the rest of the guys? Nagendra is offline. So this is the networking last topic, guys. Tomorrow onwards, so it is finished. It seems. See, it is update is gone. It seems. Right. The update is gone. The dotted lines are also gone. So now this is up. When it is up, there is a concept called point to site configuration. Click over this. Point to site configuration, and then click over the configure. Click on this. Click over configure now, and here it will ask a address pool. It also required a like a subnet for this for internal communication. This subnet to the subnets what we have in the 10.3.0, all they're all subnet. You need to have another subnet to interact in between. It is mandatory. So that subnet, actually if you create one subnet here for this communication, and that subnet should not overlap with the existing networks. Should not be overlap. You cannot claim the same subnet here and there in the VPN gateway as well as in your own network. That's why we always go with a different network here all the time. 172.17 dot example. I'll define 2.0. This is one subnet. I'm going to go with the 24. Okay, I'm defining altogether different network subnets so that there will no overlap in the future. Also, kind of you have to define different one so that there will be no overlap of network. If overlap is done happened, your subnet your virtual network gateway will not work. Why? Because there are duplicates of IPs will happen. So that should not happen. So go to the SSTP SSL. This is the one we will use for the connections. SSTP SSL, secured socket layer SSL means Azure certificate. So now I'm going to create a just a public key certificate. Public key, I'm just adding the name, and the certificate what we need to add, this public key certificate what we generated. Go to here, go to notepad, open with the notepad. Here it is actually, see here what happens sometimes when you copy, it might copy some extra space also, this last end of the line. If it does that way, it is going to create the problem. So what do we do when we copy it to the Azure cloud? There should not be small gap also, there should not be. So that's why we have to bring it into single line so that there will be no mistake. So make it in single line, the whole certificate, so that you don't copy any empty spaces at any point of time. Because if this key is wrongly submitted, your whole configuration is wasted. You have to recreate the certificate again. Not recreate, re-export the certificate. Only one back. If you do twice, the key is going to invalid. It is going to verify every single bit. So it has to exactly match. Then only the VPN will be allowed. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to copy this certificate, copy and paste into the Azure Cloud. Okay, we pasted it. Now save this. When you save this, it is going to build the VPN software with that key automatically. You download that VPN software and then connect. And you have the certificate in on-premise which is matching, then it will verify with that certificate. If both are matching, then VPN will be formed. The connection will be established with Azure Cloud automatically. If the connection is established, you no need to go into the, you no need to have a public IP to connect to the servers. All can be connected with the private IP. That will be the conclusion of the VPN setup. Who is this caller 3? Caller 1, 3. Who is this caller 1, 3? Join from mobile. It's saving it, guys. It takes some time. Wait. Takes 1 or 2 minutes to build that software and save the certificate in the Azure Cloud. It's still okay. It is done. See, it is done. So once that is done, you have to download that VPN. It takes few seconds. What's going on? How many certificates? Okay. It seems some people have connectivity issues today. So it is saying that VPN GP is not commonly downloaded and may be dangerous. So I'm saying keep it. Why? Because that's not a trusted. I just generated, right? So just warning me. That's fine with that. I'm just going to copy this, cut this, and then paste it into this certificate folder where we did this. Okay, now I'm extract it. I'm going to extract that. Extract all here. Okay. And actually, when I actually did this one, I went into the 64-bit. See, 64-bit. If I go to the program file, see, program files, Windows 10, Windows kits 10, bin, and one other folder here. There is a 32-bit key is also there, 32-bit folder also there. If you create a 32-bit certificate, it is going to build a 32-bit VPN. So that VPN will be used on the 32-bit operating systems. And 32-bit will be compatible with the 32-bit only. It is not with the 64-bit. But if I build a VPN with the 64-bit, it is going to build the 32-bit VPN, 64-bit VPN. That's the advantage. So that's where I went with the 64. Here I went into the 64 cross 64 folder instead of 32. Come on, where it is. So here inside this one you have 32-bit, 64-bit. Inside the 64-bit I went and then I created the certificate. That's why it built two VPNs. It built two VPNs. One is 32-bit VPN and 64-bit VPNs here. 64 and 32. So I'm going to use a 64-bit VPN, right? So I have to install this. When I install this, it will make an entry here into the network. I'm going to install this VPN. So if I install this, so it is saying that Windows protected your PC, Defender, Smart Skin prevented. Okay. Run anyway. Just go to this one. Okay. You have to install that. Allow it. So do you want it to install this one? Yes, I wanted to install. Okay. Once this is installed, it will be shown like this, VPN VNet. Okay. Once it is installed, it will be shown like VPN VNet. Okay. So click over that on the VPN VNet. Click over that. Okay. Just a minute. Yes, my kid is going. Just a minute. I'll be back. Just a minute.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Once like you install that, it will show into your networks here. See, like this VPN VNet. Once it is showing up, you go to here and then connect. Before I connect, let me go to the VM. I need to show this effect. So go to the virtual machine. Go to the virtual machine, get the IP. There is no public IP. See, you don't have a public IP for this because I created a server with none, public IP with none. If I'm trying to connect with the private IP, what it does, it won't detect basically because that IP, my machine doesn't know about this IP. It will not give the login prompt. It will throw the error. Why it will throw the error? Tell me. Because there is no communication with that network. You don't have any communication right now with this networking. That's why it is not detecting it. So you have a VPN. You have a VPN just now we created. Go to that VPN. Okay, it is created another one. Come on. So I'm closing this. We already have one, it seems. Where it has gone? Whatever is fine. So go to the VPN VNet and connect. So it is going to connect using the certificate. If it is successfully connected, our configuration is correct. Right, it is connected. See, it is connected, which means that I will get a IP from that network. Which network? 10.3.2.0. What was that network? What is this network? 10.3.1.4. From this network, I'm going to get one IP into my IP, so that it will be like treated as a local machine. IP config. See here. 10. Okay, it has given the gateway IP. Okay, it has given the gateway IP. See here. 172.17.2.0/24 I defined, I got a IP of Azure, so that this machine will be, like, I got an IP, which means that this IP, that IP is authorized. Why? Because I bind this IP inside the virtual network gateway when I'm building the VPN software. So that's why I got this IP. This IP can go into that VNet. Now, if I go back to and do the RDP to the machine, let's do the RDP MSTSC. Paste this. If I click it OK, it is going to enter into this network, Azure private network. It will connect to this machine. If the VPN is what we created correct, then it will connect. See 10.3.1.4, it should give the login prompt. See, we got the login prompt, and I can connect to the server. See, oh, what is the password is wrong? See, oh, what's going on? It's going with the domain with this one. Why it is so? So VM01, right? VM01 slash Ravinder and password. Come on. Why? It is given the login prompt, means it is able to authenticate. Even I can ping that IP. I feel 10 dot. What is this IP? It won't ping, I guess,
Yes,
but see.
Ravinder. Earlier you used to 10.3.1.0 or something, but you entered 4.
What I was entered wrong one, you mean to say?
Yes, Ravinder. Can you please check it? Yeah. I think
Correct.
3.1.0.
Zero is not the one, right? It start with one. It start with
Okay.
4. IP, every IP will start with 4.
Okay.
So why it is not used different? Okay, this time I should go, I guess. Maybe I'll reset the password if it won't work. We can do that. It is giving the login prompt. That's enough. We are correct actually here. What it is saying? There's some message in the background. The last operation performed this VM failed. VM still running. What we did it? Provisioning failed. OS provisioning for the VM did not finish in the allotted time. VM may still finish the provisioning successfully. Okay. Provisioning state failed. Not ready. VM status below found not yet populated. Provisioning succeeded. There is some issue with this VM. Let me create one more VM in that case. In the same network I'll create. VM02 West India. Okay, and I'll choose 2 CPUs, 4 GB RAM. That's quite enough for our discussion. This is the last topic in our networking concept, guys. We'll enter into the storage tomorrow. After storage, SQL. Very interesting topics. They are your bread and butter. So now this is fine. I have to place the server in the network, and I don't want the public IP. It should be none. In the real time also, when we create the DB servers, we will go with a none only. We don't allocate a public IP for any backend DB servers. only it listens on the local networking only. You should not keep a public IP. If you are keeping it, you are keeping the server at risk. Okay, all servers should be come with none only. Web servers will have the public IP, but not the DB servers, because they are secured. They should be secured. It takes some time. Let's wait for that to happen. Then I can easily connect to into that network because I have the VPN, Azure VPN connected to. Here it is connected. That which VPN VNet I connected, so it will let us enter into the private networking of Azure. So this is what is all about VPN configuration. So you can, I'm going to send this thing. So here, when you get up the VPN gateway, I was picked up this one here. Just I'll match the exact discussion here. 172.17.1./24. Okay, you can use up to 16 to 131. Don't go beyond that again. Set up the root certificate. Use the tunnel type SSTP. Name is Azure VPN. You can give any name, doesn't matter. Enter the public key. Public key we generated here. It is. Where it is? Here it is. This key. We exported that. You have to enter it and download the software. Install the client certificate. It is 32-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit, 64-bit. And then connect to the VPN, and then once VPN is connected, we can connect to the virtual machine directly with the private IP. That's the discussion about this. Let the VMs come out online. Right, it is created. Now if I go to the VM02 and then if I pick up the private IP of this server, I can absolutely connect. Come on. So yeah, it is giving the login prompt. Why it is giving login prompt? First of all, we have the communication with that network. I can enter into this network. So here I can connect to the server. I can do whatever I wanted to do. So when you do work from home, you go with the VPN, and VPN will have like its own keys, basically combination of keys. Every client, see, there are two types of VPNs in the real world. You have a Cisco VPN or Citrix based VPN. So everywhere Cisco VPN and Citrix VPN, then how actually every client will have their own VPN. One client VPN will not work with the other VPN. Why? Other client VPN? Because of the certificate keys will change. The certificate key pair is actually changing there. So it is absolutely, one client software, maybe software is same, but the keys are different. Keys are different. That's why one client VPN will not work with the other client VPN. Following or not? Every client will have their own unique key pairs actually in the VPN. That's why though the software is same for the different clients, but the VPN configuration is the VPN is specific to the client, not all. One VPN will not work for all. That's the story behind it. I guess you guys are clear on this point, right?
Yes, Ravin.
It seems Shesha, can you hear me? Is off, and it seems that people have a network connectivity coming and going off. Okay, so this is something all about it, guys. So if you any questions you wanted to ask, we are done. Tomorrow we are going to talk about storage and we will have two classes in the storage, then all SQL operation. They are very interesting topics. You don't know that, on-premise SQL administration, cloud SQL administration is quite different, and the past especially. So we are going to talk in detail there. So any questions from today's discussion? I'm going to send this document along with the video. Just practice this actually once. You'll get to know what it is kind of exactly. It is a little time consuming process. Take some time and do it actually. Yes, you have to do it. Then only you feel like confident. So any questions before I close the class, stop the recording?
These are configurations doing in separate VM, right? Actually, we are doing everything in local system.
Yeah, everything in the local laptop. Of course, I did everything in the local laptop with my command prompt. I created the certificates. I exported certificate into my machine. Everything I did in my local and then given the certificate to cloud.
In coming to real time, we need to take another VM for that, right?
Yes, one of the VM. Yes, that's correct. You have to do one of the machine this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm stopping the recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
So when we delete the VM, basically, so this is an object. You are deleting an VM object. That VM object has many things in the background again. So if I go to the story account, resource group, all its object will not get deleted, only except the object will get deleted. If I go to here, there is a VM02 OS disk and virtual machine name. This will be deleted. The disk will be retained and energy group will be retained and network NIC card will be retained. This OS disk also will be retained. All related objects will be retained. So let me delete the VM and show it as you asked. Good question actually. So I'm deleting this VM. I'm going here. I can delete straight away. So if I delete, then there is no stop. Once you submit a machine for the deletion, there is no stop. It will absolutely clean up the machine. And that object, not the machine, object name will be cleaned up. Not only IP, so you observed only IP, the many things will not get, see my connection is lost once I deleted. Remote desktop is ended, why? Because that is submitted for the deletion. It is deleting the object. Good point you brought up. Let that delete and then I'll show it. It will keep the reference objects still in the resource group. You have to go and delete there each object manually. The disks, NIC card, and all other things which are on that object. That's why naming convention is really important. So it is gone. Now if I go back to the resource group, the resources of that machine still exist except the VM name. So you have to delete that also. So go to here. So VM02C network NIC card is still there. It's an associated network. Energy is there. Still, why this is there? It should be refreshed. Right. If you go to here, VM02. Oh, come on, what happened? So I'll make it. There is something antivirus is running in the background. Pro license expired. Okay. So it's looking like this. See, there are VM02 objects still exist. It's NSG actually you don't it is created or with along with the VM, but in real time you don't have this NSG. You'll have a network interface, You'll have a VM associated disk. You have only OS disk. That's why it is showing only one OS disk. If you have more disk, all disk will be retained back. You have to delete NIC card and all associated disk. You have to delete. So NSG you don't need to delete. It will be centralized NSG, what we have discussed in the previous classes. So you have to delete NIC card and you have to delete the disk associated with that VM. That's it. These two. Here it is NSG also we are deleting. Actually, in the real time you don't have NSG. NSG comes from the centralized. So I'm going to delete those objects. Then the VM will be completely deleted, which is equivalent to. Clear? You have to delete the dependent objects also manually. When you delete the VM, disks will not get cleaned up.
Yes.
Here it is gone. It will be gone. All what you deleted, it will be gone. It is still there. It is doing the job, I guess. This is there. I deleted this, right? Oh, that is also gone. Like that, you have to delete. Clear, right?
Yes. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ravi.
Yeah. I'm going to stop the recording now. Okay, bye.